Okay, so in this video, I'm going to show you guys or remind you guys how to do a problem like this with matrices. So here is a problem that we have. It can be very similar to your practice problem that you have um, in your take-home exam. So the first thing that you want to do is set this up into a matrix, right? So the first thing, oh, what happened? I didn't do it there. Oh no. Technical difficulties. There we go. Okay, so the first thing you want to go ahead and do is go ahead and set it up in the matrix, right? So I'm going to go ahead and go in order, right? So look at the coefficients of my first equation, right? And it's just going to be 1, 1, 1, and 6. Okay, so that's going to be my first row. Now my second row, notice that there's no x, so I'm just going to apply a 0 there. Then there's going to be a 2, a 5, and the negative 4. And then on the last row, it's going to be a 2, a 5, a negative 1, and a 27. Okay, now the whole goal about this is that you want to go ahead and make sure that the numbers that I'm going to put in purple, these numbers, I want them to be 0. Now, the good thing about this problem is that I already have the second one to be 0 already. Now, how am I going to make the rest, this 2 equal to 0, right? Well, the way that I'm going to do it is by using this 1 to help me get rid of this 2 to make it a 0, right? And then when I go into this 5, how will it make this 5 into a 0? Well, I'm going to use this 2 to get rid of this 5. So we're going to do one thing at a time. So the first thing that I want to go ahead and do is I want to go ahead and get rid of this 2 right here. Okay, so what am I going to do? So I'm going to use this 1, right? And usually we want this to be a 1. If not, we can just switch rows, right? So how am I going to go ahead and get rid of this 2? Well, I had to multiply this top number by a minus 2, because if I multiply this entire row by a minus 2 and I added it, right, then this is going to make it into a 0, right? So I'm going to take my first row and I'm going to multiply it by negative 2, and what am I going to get? So I'm going to get negative 2. I'm going to get also another negative 2, another negative 2, and then I'm going to get a negative 12, okay? And then I'm going to go ahead and add it to my bottom row, right? Because this is the one that I want to go ahead and get rid of. So I'm going to go ahead and just copy paste this 2, 5, negative 1, and positive 27, okay? So now I'm just going to go ahead and add this up, right? So negative 2 plus 2 is just going to give me a 0. Negative 2 plus 5 is just going to give me a positive 3. Then negative 1, negative 2 is going to give me a negative 3. And then this is going to give me what? A positive 15. Okay. All right. So now this one now is actually my new row, right? Because I remember I wanted to eliminate this 2. So now this thing is now going to be my new row 3. So let me go ahead and write that down. So now I'm going to have, so this stays the same, 1, 1, 1, positive 6. This is going to stay the same, 0, 2, 5, negative 4. And now this last one's going to be 0, 3, negative 3, positive 15. Okay, so if you didn't understand what I did, just go ahead and rewind this video so that you can catch up. Okay, now notice that now we got rid of the 2, and now it is a 0. So now what I got to do is, like, notice that this 5 now changed to a 3. So we still got to get rid of it, right? Because I'm almost done. I almost have what I had in the purple, right? I almost have this to be a 0. I just need the 3 to get rid of, right? So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and use the 2 on my second row to eliminate this 3. So basically, to recap, this 1 is used to get rid of these two numbers so they're not 0, and this middle number is used to get rid of this 3. Okay, now here's a little bit harder, right? Because I can't really quite multiply something by this row to get a 3, right? But what I can do is, how can I make these two numbers the same? Well, I can multiply this number by a 3, and I can multiply this number by a -2, because then both of them will turn into a 6, and then I will be able to eliminate, right? So what will I get? So this is going to give me, so 3 times 0 is just going to give me a 0. Then 3 times 2 is going to give me a 6. Then 15. And then I'm going to get a -12. Okay? Then this one, I'm going to get a 0. -2 times 3 is going to give me -6. -2 times -3 is going to give me +6. And then I'm going to get 15 times -2 is going to give me -30. Okay, and what we get when we add this up, this is going to go away, it's still 0, this is 0, right? This is going to give me 21, right? And this is going to give me -42. Okay, so now for my last matrix, right, what I'm going to have is 1, 1, 1, 6. Then my second row is going to be 0, 2, 5, -4, because I did nothing to it. Then my last one's now going to be this new one, right, which is just 0, 0, 21, and -42. Okay, and at this point, you're basically almost done. So now what you really want to be able to do is just put it back into this form that I have over here in the blue. Okay, now remember, this is just my x, my y, and my z, and this is the numbers on the right hand side. So I'm just going to have x plus y plus z equals 6. Oh, whoops. Okay, this is going to be 2y plus 5z equals -4. And then this is going to be 21z equals -42. So notice that I can go from top to bottom, right? I can just divide by 21 here. Divide by +21. Z is equal to -2. Oops, this is an ugly 2. So I got my first answer. And then I just go ahead and back substitute in here, right? So I'm going to have 2y plus 5z. Oops, I already know what z is. I'm going to do this. -2 equals -4. Okay, this should be a 2. Okay, this is going to be 2y minus 10 equals -4. Okay, and in the end, after you solve this, y is going to be equal to 3. Okay, and then once I plug in z, and now that I know z and y, I can plug it into my last one, right? So now this is going to be x plus y, which is 3, z, which is -2, equals 6, right? This is just going to give me a 1. When I go ahead and subtract it over, I'm going to get x equals 5. So my complete solution is going to be 5, 3, -2. Okay, so hopefully this helps out solving this problem with matrices. The only thing about in your take-home exam is that you actually have a number here, but same exact idea. You can go ahead and multiply the first row by whatever number you can to get rid of this number, and do the same thing as we did right here. Okay, hopefully this helps.